Defense for the Lions, they played extremely well last week in that win over Green Bay.
And the big difference in the ball game, their ability to force turnovers, 3 of them in fact. Being able to take the ball away, give it back to their offense, that's something that's emphasized each and every week, and they carried it out.
Play action. Now it's Allen. And that falls to the ground, incomplete. A nice job of bodying him up defensively, and now it brings up 3rd down. You talk about this Lions defense. They played extremely well last week in that win over the Packers.
And the big difference in the game, their ability to force turnovers. Multiple, in fact. Being able to take the ball away, give it back to their offense, the big difference in the game.
It was impressive. Now the question, can they duplicate it? He's got his target. That's complete. And taking it across midfield and inside the 45. Give him 18 on that one as the Bills are going to have a 1st down.
An ex-teammate used to tell me all the time, I hate experienced quarterbacks because no matter what, you really can't hide what you're doing. And I think that right there, he knew right away where the blitz was coming from, where his primary guy was going to be, and he ended up going to a secondary target for a nice game.
I was just going to ask you, that wasn't the primary target. He's so good at that, isn't he?
I think he knew right away that he wasn't going to get to his primary guy. I think he read that as soon as he got to the line of scrimmage, knew where the pressure was going to come from, and said, I know how to beat that, and that's what he did.
2nd and a couple. Motion man is Shakir. So they fake the handoff. Now Allen. To the right side and intercepted. And a big return will get him all the way down to the 35.
A part of why they came to this week with a winning record is that they feed off of mistakes like this, and now it's a prime opportunity. Just moments in the game to get a short field touchdown off of their big defensive play. Now on the other side, they were already the underdog in this one. They just made their uphill battle just a little bit tougher.
On 1st and 10, here's Gibbs. And he is going to lose yardage here. A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11. A shotgun snap for Goff. And he takes this just a few yards shy of the red zone before going out. A nifty bit of scrambling there. 12 yards, 1st down. Goff now to throw. This is Smith to the ground. And he's down inside the 5 at the 4 before he's out of bounds. Chewing up big yardage. Another nice gain there. This one goes for 20.
And remember, this drive started off following the turnover. And they've taken no time working their way down the short field. A nice connection there, and now they're looking at a 1st and goal.
1st and goal, a chance to convert that early turnover into points. Gibbs will get about halfway there as he takes this from the 4 down to the 2. From the 2 now, 2nd and goal. Back to throw, Goff. And they're going to get to him, a sack. Sack back at the 9-yard line. A big win there defensively on 2nd and goal, a loss of 7, and it brings up 3rd. Goff. And he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete.
Oh, that's going to hurt a bit because they needed to come through with a completion there. Now a drive that started with great field position is facing 4th down.
And his kick is good. And the Lions are going to take a 3-0 lead. So an opening drive field goal maybe doesn't whip this crowd into a frenzy, but I think that they will take the early lead.
There's no doubt about it. They will always take the early lead, and maybe that celebration comes later if they play well and they can break things open. But right now, this is all about letting the offense just get settled in.
Buffalo offense ready to go for their next drive. Their second drive here, the ballgame, Charles. Remember last time they threw the interception, but the defense held up. It bent a little but didn't break, only giving up the 3 points.
Yeah, obviously they left some points on the table there their last time out, but boy, they have to thank their defense for holding the opposition just 3 after they threw the pick. Their turn now. Back out on the field, put together a good drive, and get some points of their own.
Now Allen. Flushed out right. And he's left with no option here but to throw it away. You talk about this Lions defense. They played extremely well last week in that win over the Packers.
And the big thing for them was the interceptions. And you hear teams all the time talk about establishing themselves against the pass. You know, no-fly zones and things of that nature. This group had a bunch of them in last week's game.
Allen going to throw. A short throw pulled in by Kincaid. And he'll go out of bounds after taking it a little further down inside the 40. They get 7 out of that, so they're left with a 3rd and 3.
I know sometimes we can get fooled when we watch him make catches, as we just saw him do there, because he really looks like a wide receiver the way he goes about his business.
Yeah, 230, 240 range.
Yeah, not super huge. Maybe not counted on to be that inline point-of-attack blocker that we used to have in the good old days. But you can flex him out. You can run wide receiver routes with him. You can make him a primary target, and that's how he'll shred a defense.
Oh, he had him. He was open, but he couldn't get it to him. It's incomplete.
As my dad used to tell me all the time, when you're getting ready to play a big-time game, especially when you have one going into a dome setting, better strap it up tight because that crowd can really affect things.
Especially on 3rd downs like the one we just saw there with the incompletion. Field goal would have been a decent length at 55 yards. They keep the kicking unit on the sideline. They're going for it. Again, they'll throw with Allen. Oh, and his early struggles continue. Here's another one intercepted. And the Lions are going to take over at their own 41. And not the first quarter that he was hoping for. Now 2 interceptions thrown.
Well, the good ones, they find a way to compartmentalize, right? Put these behind them, have that short memory, but understand why they threw the 2 interceptions. They go on and usually play a pretty decent game. Other quarterbacks, they have a hard time getting past it and often put the ball up for grabs the rest of the ball game.
After the interception, here's Goff. And they take him down. The Bills get to him. Buried by multiple defenders on the drive's first play. It seemed like he kept going through those progressions, and I thought he might dump that underneath, but he couldn't get rid of the football in time.
And I have to wonder if he was thinking while he was back there, I wish there were a lot less progressions on this play, just someone that I can dump the ball to and get it out of my hands.
Throwing on 2nd and long. Goff. And that'll be incomplete. Took a pretty good shot as he tried to pull that one in. Couldn't hang on 3rd down.
It's pretty early in the game, but they've already tried to establish him not just as a runner, but as a receiver as well. Didn't happen there, but I wouldn't be surprised at all to see them try again shortly.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. They'll let this go deep for St. Brown. And that is incomplete.
Well, they've got man coverage on the outside, and my scouting report on these DBs tells me that they love to take matters in their own hands. They want man coverage, not zone. And there was good coverage there that forced the incompletion.
And that'll hit at the 5 and go into the end zone for a touchback. The Bills come to the line to start their next drive. So, Charles, the season winding down, the playoffs obviously not in their futures. They look ahead to the offseason. What spots do they maybe need to fill?
Well, I think that they like the guy who's calling the plays and throwing the ball. I think that he's a pretty good player. Needs some help, I think, on the perimeter, though. Help him out with receivers, because I think if he gets an upgrade there, his play gets that much better, too.
So another incompletion there. He's hitting on fewer than half his pass attempts in this one, and that is not a winning formula.
Yeah, so let's make sure we give a little bit of credit to the defense here. They're giving him a lot to think about, a lot of different looks, and he seems a little bit confused trying to complete passes.
So the shotgun snap to Allen. And that is going to be incomplete as he let him a bit too much.
Incompletions on first and second down. It certainly seems like a reflection of what we've seen so far in this game. The defense, quicker to the punch so far. Let's see if they can get something going here on third down.
Now they face a 3rd and 10 after back-to-back incompletions. Now Allen. And he is caught. He's got this almost to the 40 before going out. First catch for him on the afternoon, and it results in a first down.
Well, there's no disputing. He's made some poor throws in this first half, but this was a good one. And you can bet this is an offense that isn't going to pull back. They believe in what he can do. So all you can do is look forward, and they pick up a first down.
First down, here's the run with Cook. And he can only manage to get a couple. 2nd and 8 coming up.
Well, any lane that might have been open there was closed pretty quickly, and that was because the defensive front, they won that battle at the point of attack at the line of scrimmage. They used great leverage, held their spot, and stacked him up.
2nd down and 8. In motion, the tight end. Allen. A short throw pulled in by Kincaid. Second catch for him today, and it'll wind up a first down.
And the tight end is certainly a position built to move the chains because they can control space underneath. If they've got good hands, then, of course, they're a dynamic target. But one other thing is they're right in the sight lines of a quarterback on just about every play, and that makes it easier for the quarterback to pick him out and deliver.
Three 0 after one on EA Sports. The Bills with a football as we start quarter number 2, as they've got it with a 1st and 10. To throw, it's Allen. His throw incomplete.
This could be the start of a nice stand from this defense now after getting walked backwards on this drive. Come through with another one here, and you have them staring at a 3rd and long, and that puts the defense in a position to dictate to the offense.
Now a 2nd and 10. Working out of the shotgun. Here's Allen. And he's going to be intercepted a 3rd time. Down the right sideline. And he will bring it back. An interception return for a Lions touchdown. Now the extra point try forthcoming. It's up and good, and that'll increase their lead to 10-zip. So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick 6, and now the kick is away. And no run back forthcoming, so this will come out to the 30.
At their own 30-yard line.
Buffalo offense ready to go for their next drive. Now they've sort of lost their way, partner. How do they recalibrate and get this proverbial train back on track?
Well, this is where leadership really comes into play. How's the head coach handling it? The offensive coordinator? Sometimes they just make a joke. All right, guys, you had your fun? All right.
Throw it out the window.
Yeah, let's get back on track here. And sometimes that'll work just fine.
I guess it's time now to lean on that leadership. Here's Allen. And this one is going to be off the mark, too far out in front.
Well, so far in this drive, they've done some good work. They force incompletions on first and second down, bring up 3rd and 10. That brings up the big question. Do they bring pressure or do they play coverage on this down?
The Bills on 3rd down. That's 3rd and 10.
Motion, motion, motion. I want you to win. This.